a gentleman who we had just seen maybe half an hour before, quite possibly lost his life.
That was the difficult realization that 43-year-old Dion Clare came to after helping search for Junior John for 30 minutes. Clare was participating in a walkathon on the morning of Saturday, March 12th, when he noticed a man standing in the water, looking like he was praying.
Well, he was standing in pretty shallow water, so that was fine, but he was not too far from the shore. But there was strong winds that morning, and the water was pretty rough.
23-year-old Junior John, a hotel worker, was on the beach for his baptism, and family members were scheduled to meet him there at 8 a.m. About an hour before that, Clare was one of the last people to see him.
We didn't think anything of it because there was no issue. The only thing I thought was, wow, he has his cell phone and his keys right there on the wall, and anybody could have grabbed it. So we just continued walking by.
But later, as he and his son were on the return route, Clare says 2 other women on the walkathon shouted out that somebody was in the water calling out for help. The 43-year-old says he got one final glimpse.
About 25 yards off of the shore.
That last...
Well, with the last, I guess that was his last gasp of energy at that point.
I spoke to John's family last week at Go Slow Bend, near to the rocks where witnesses last saw him. They are still puzzled and want more concrete answers. His girlfriend, 22-year-old Monica Bocage, describes him as a loving boyfriend.
He was loving. He made sure I was straight all the time, made sure, he did what he could for his family and his friends.
I interviewed Clare at the same place that I spoke to John's family. He tells me that on the day in question, his son, who was also a lifeguard, took up a higher vantage point in hopes that they would spot the drowning man. Clare himself went down in the water prepared to search, but John hasn't been seen since.
Usually victims do not call out. They're too busy trying to breathe, so that was unusual in that aspect, but he was able to do that, which brought attention to himself, how the lady saw him, and we were able to try and rescue him, but it was unsuccessful.
Witnesses called police. A mobile patrol unit showed up, but couldn't do any searching in the water in their tactical gear. Witnesses on scene quickly began to lose hope.
It was a somber mood, but when we realized about 30 minutes into it and realized that, okay, we're not finding him, it became a really depressing and sad move. The gravity of the situation started to set in.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.